Hi.
This is Christy.
This is Jamie. And we're back. For us, it's been a while.
Yeah. For us, it's been like a month we haven't recorded.
No, like 2 weekends.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Oh,
it just seemed like so long because I love doing it.
So long.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. It's been way too
more
long.
than 2 weeks.
No?
Oh. Okay, so that's like nothing.
Maybe it's been 2 weekends, so it could be like 3 weeks.
Yeah. But, I mean, an inside tidbit, we had been doing it pretty consistently.
Yeah, like
recording.
once a week.
Yeah, I don't know if it's boring or not, but like you work weekends. Usually I work during the week, so we've had to...
Yeah, and it's my busy time now, so...
Yeah, so look, we feel like we're coming back together, but you would never know.
Yes. Like, oh, this is so exciting. We're back again. I'm nervous.
Yeah. I mean, we see each other, so it's not like we haven't.
Yeah. We're family.
But now we're on a microphone and we're talking, so this is really different.
It's a different situation.
But we are back with A Court of Mist and Fury, and we are doing chapters
42 to 44.
Yeah, and... Oh, you know what I was gonna say? A lot of stuff happens in these chapters.
I was gonna say things are getting spicy.
Oh, they are getting spicier. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I found myself writing notes during these chapters, being like, oh, like Bear is horned up.
Yeah, I was driving because I also will listen to it. I was like, I need to make sure the windows are rolled up.
Things are getting foggy in here.
Yeah.
As I drive to work.
Driving between shoots.
Oh, so Jamie and I had some chats about just looking at how we're doing things. So as the person who edits the podcast, I tend to listen to things over and over again. And you know what? I'm just going to say it. I'm a fan of ours. We said that at some point when we listened back. It was probably like episodes ago, but I was like, you know what? I would listen to this.
Yeah.
If we weren't us.
I look forward
to
every Friday when you do the editing, so I don't really hear it, but I was like, oh, I'm so excited to listen to it all put together.
What did I say? Yeah. I don't remember.
And I was away the other weekend. I went to Vegas with our mother, and literally the Friday I was like, oh, I can't wait to wake up, not do anything in Vegas, but to listen to the episode as I got ready for the day.
But as a fan, listening to these episodes, I'm like, okay, this is getting way too re-cappy, which I think was not my intention when we started. When we started this, we wanted to do recap podcast, but my favorite recap podcast that I listen to, they don't go through every detail of what's happened, right? Like I think of the Survivor podcast that I like to listen to. They don't go through everything that's happened in the episode. They just highlight the things that they really liked, didn't like, the characters, all of that, with the assumption that the people listening have watched the episode or know enough about it that they're going to know what they're talking about. So for me, I think we've gotten too much into assuming that the people listening don't know stuff, right? So I think the talk that I had with you was like, let's let go of the details and about going over everything, and let's just talk more about the things that we really love and hate and the characters and the things that we actually are excited to talk about, because honestly I don't care about talking about every detail. That's not fun to me.
Yeah. I feel like it's also going to be a little bit of a transition because I think I'm so used to that at this point. So
we're just gonna try it out, experiment, try and stop ourselves from doing that, and just try and just talk more about the good stuff.
Yeah. And if you have any opinions, please share them.
Yeah, we'd love your opinion. And for anyone listening too and likes to listen, we would so appreciate, giving us a rating, giving us comments, sharing it, anything that sort of gets it out there, because the cherry on top of us doing this for fun is having other people listen. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. We do have a number one fan in Christina, so that's great.
Yes, we do have a friend that started these books.
Yes, and that's exciting.
And hopefully one day we'll get her to talk about it with us.
Because I've loved not watching her, that's creepy, but just hearing her thoughts as she's reading through.
Texting us and telling us about the things that are happening, because it has been a while since we were fresh with these books, right? Because we read all these books before we started the podcast, so we we hadn't just read them, right? So it's
Yeah.
so different when someone's like, as they're reading it and excited about it.
And she did text me today, LOLing at our singing from the last episode.
It was
and
pretty
saying, I love this podcast. And I said, great.
Aww.
Yeah, right?
Well, our singing voices are off. I'm guessing it was the Weaver singing.
Yes. And I said, voices
It was pretty bad. I
like
was
Beyonce.
cringing as I was listening to it.
I know.
Like, this does not sound good, gals. Though I did not think it was good.
No,
at the
it's
moment,
not like
so
we think we
no.
sound good, so it's fine. I'm repositioning here. For some reason, I decided to wear jeans on a couch.
I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, they are really comfy jeans, but...
So that's the plan today, y'all. Let's
see what happens, see how it goes. I'm, as always, excited for the spiciness.
Yes. Oh, well, tell us about it. Jamie's admiring her drink that she made.
It's going to most likely be awful, but that's not why I chose it. It was for the aesthetics. So during these chapters,
Just like the jeans you're wearing.
Yes.
It's for the aesthetics.
My outfit looks really cute. So we have Starfall in these next few chapters. And so I really wanted to do like a sparkly black drink. So I specifically ordered black vodka for this. And found this recipe with it. So it said black vodka, and then you get this iridescent edible stuff to make it sparkle. And right now the light's hitting it, it's sparkling, and I just love it.
It is. And when you poured the stuff in, the stars actually were falling in the drink, and you could see it.
It was beautiful. But the recipe's not that great. So he had 2 separate ones on there. The original recipe had like maraschino cherries, orange juice, this other, I don't know. But then said it would kind of change the coloring of it. So they changed it. And the recipe is pretty much vodka, lime juice, simple syrup.
Yeah, because you don't want to change the color of the vodka.
Yes. So the photos, guys, are going to be beautiful. I am terrified to drink this. Our cousin was just here. We kind of had her
taste
test it
because we didn't want to try it before we got on recording.
Yeah. And so I ended up kind of throwing in more lime.
You put in more lime and more simple syrup to try and balance it out.
And a little bit of black cherry
juice. A splash
juice.
of cherry juice.
Yeah. So, I don't know what is about to happen, but
let's try it out. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my God. it is vodka.
Yeah, but it's not. Like, vodka is definitely not my favorite liquor at all. So I don't love doing vodka drinks, but this is not this doesn't taste like pure vodka. No,
which I think it did help adding. Now I want to try it again. I think adding a little bit of that cherry juice in, and more of the simple syrup helped.
I think so too. Well, I don't know what it tastes like before, but no, you get the little tang of cherry, just like slight. So it's not a cherry drink. It's just so you get the slight tartness.
Yeah, and even Corey wasn't cringing like that bad, and she pointed that out. I feel like that's like I was just like, oh, it's just going to be like we're sipping on a shot of vodka.
Yes, and then I told her about the Rob Roy that we made the other week, and she was horrified. So
yeah,
this is not that.
No, it's not that bad.
My lips are going numb a little bit from the. Actually, is that normal?
No.
Oh no, that happens sometimes when okay, maybe that's from the lime.
We're discovering you have an
allergy.
Wrong with me? You might have an allergy.
I don't know. That happens.
Your lips go numb when you drink alcohol?
Well, it's not totally numb, but you have like it might be from the citrus. I have really sensitive skin.
I don't get that.
Okay.
So just Christine also needs to go
call a doctor. Call a doctor.
I did have on my. Well, yeah, and if you were having an allergic reaction, we would bring you to the hospital.
This is the most important thing in my life. We will continue recording at every cost.
Yeah. But you might want to get allergy testing.
I've quit my job. I've quit my job just to, I'm doing this now only.
I don't get paid.
I'm moving in.
I mean, hey, sleep right on this couch. I'll just come down when we're ready. Bring the cocktails.
Okay, let's rate it. If you've heard any of my ratings in the past, just ignore all of them because I've made a totally new list on my notes app.
Oh,
and
I forgot about that.
It does not correspond with. Yeah, I'll give it a 5.3. But you'll really have to see at the end of this book how it all.
Then we'll actually see how we rate everything. Yeah,
shakes out.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the chapters.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, the one thing that I wanted to start it off as, because we left off in chapter 41, and we were a little bit confused about Moore's truth power. So as I was reading, I did look at it and, like, jot it down. So the ore belonged to Moore's family. It was rife with truth magic she claimed to possess, that many in her bloodline also bore. So it's like a power within her bloodline that people... But it was interesting that it said claim to possess. Because it's like, is it real, or is, like, her whole family,
it's not something you can really, like, show and, like, prove. Well, you can show it, but it's... Yeah,
right, it was just, like, weird wording. Like, are they all just, like, faking it?
Yeah. I think even, like, you see the things online, everyone's confused about that.
Yeah, they're like, Moore's a fraud.
Just a liar, not a truth teller.
Which might be, but I like her now, so we'll just ignore the TikToks.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, chapter 42, this is where they're going to the Court of Nightmares.
Yes.
Okay,
so,
I was
Hewn
really...
City, also known as.
Hewn City, Court of Nightmares. Mm-hmm. I was surprised reading this because I want to go there.
Okay, yes. I was also thinking
I am jumping ahead, but...
Same. But even... Because I'm just going to keep mentioning that I was just in Vegas. But in the hotel, and even, like, a lot of the hotels there, like, when you walk under Caesars or in, like, New York, it's like a little city in there. And it still has, like, the ceiling and everything. And because I just think of the stuff all the time, I was like, oh my god, it's kind of...
Did you walk through there and go, guys, this is just like the Court of Nightmares? Anyone?
In my head, yes. As I was taking my drink and my pizza and my
waving
Kindle,
your pizza around. This is...
my Kindle to go sit, like people do in Vegas.
They do. They read a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
They get their slice of pizza and they read their Kindle.
I was losing on the slot machines, okay?
And then they get their very strong vodka drink and pay the pennies. That actually sounds like a really good time to me.
Yeah, it does.
Break for the penny slots.
Yeah. Anyways. But it does sound a lot more...
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
When they do go in, even, I think she comments about what Amarantha did was, like, child's play or something.
Yeah.
They're, like, the comparison of what she did.
So let's talk about the horned up comment Farrah made first. Because as they're flying there...
Oh, God, yes. That I did highlight, obviously.
Okay, I knew you would.
I was like, oh, I'm just going to highlight a little bit. I'm like, oh, but then I have hearts around wingspan. So Amren, like, as they're flying, not Amren, and she can, like, tell he's nervous or whatever. So she's like, oh, well, Amren and Mora told me that the span of an Illyrian male's wings says a lot about the size of other parts. And I was like, wingspan, yeah. Did
they know? She's so forward in this moment, too.
Oh, I love it.
Like, touching his wings, and then he's, she finds out that he's sensitive to it, and she's...
Yeah. But I do like that she's kind of seeing that he's super nervous to bring her there, knowing he's like, okay, we have to put on these different faces, and...
Well, he understands what she's gone through.
Yes, and... he doesn't want her to see him like that also. That, like, he's going to have
Well, when we think back to that moment when she was in Hewn City staying at his other place and she didn't know Valaris existed yet?
Yes.
Remember that moment where she, like, panicked? And, like, don't infiltrate the human lands, right? Like, moments like that where he's like, oh, you think I'm a monster, so...
Yeah, and I think he said, like, the last chapter, like, you finally started looking at me like I'm not a monster.
Right, so now I gotta put that face on, and that doesn't feel good to him. He doesn't want her to look at him that way, and doesn't want her to also be there and be reminded of what she went through.
Yeah, but Farrah has come a long way, and I love that she realizes his nerves about the situation, and she's doing what he always does.
She's using his tactics against him.
Like, hey, before the Weaver's cottage?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And just to continue, because I love this part, they also said Azriel's wingspan is the biggest. And Rhys said, well, we'll have to get a measuring stick out when we go home. And I'm like, wingspan for life.
Yeah, and interesting, he said, this isn't a direct quote, but Illyrian men find completion by touching their wings in the right spot. But Rhys has never let anyone do that, and he's never had his wings out during sex, which he's a shy guy. He has his walls up.
Well, even back under the mountain, he said, I never show anyone my wings.
Yeah, those are, like, really special to him, I guess.
It's just like a certain side of him, I think that. But even that she let him. But I guess if you just like touch an Illyrian man's wings and not like ask him, like it's a
I
big
think
wing
of
thing.
too with. I'm trying to think what the word is. He might feel like people I want to say dehumanize when people have wings.
Yes, because
it's like
the Illyrians
a certain
aren't...
type of like when people display their culture or parts of their race, or if we think of like black people's hair, like there's certain things that people dehumanize and think they have access to, and don't. You know what I mean? Like, I think of the wings might be, like, something like that, too.
Yeah,
like, when I have those wings out, you think something different of me. You think you have access to them. I don't know. Maybe it's something like that, too.
So it's something he kind of just has to protect.
This is something vulnerable.
Yeah. So he only lets certain...
And especially the way that people look at Illyrians.
Yes,
right?
that's what I was going to say.
They're
that it's a
considered,
different...
like, barbarians and things like that. Like, it may not represent what Feyre thinks them as. Like, she, like, likes them or, like, doesn't think... whatever, but they might represent something like other places in Prythian. Anyway, but I guess just what happens before the Court of Nightmares is just the attack that happens with the arrows, right?
Arrows come flashing out of nowhere. And not just any arrows. They are ash arrows. So that is what Farah had killed the... Oh, I forgot his name and I feel so bad. Andrus. R.I.P.
I think the only thing I wanted to note here was Feyre fighting for herself and saying, I'm not going to go to safety. I am an asset here. I can help. And I'm going to help. And this is what's going to happen. And she basically dictates.
Yes.
Dictates to, like, the... You know, Cassian's like the head of the army. Azriel's like the spy master. Rhys is the high lord, and she's like, "You're gonna do this. You're gonna do this, and you're gonna do this, and that's how we're gonna do it." And Rhys is like, "All right, troops, go."
Yep, I did underline this to comment. Both just command like bosses.
Yeah,
and I loved it.
Yeah, love that. But they don't figure out who did it, and then
so they continue on, and they actually get to the Hewn City.
Yes, and then we get to the good part.
Yes, and then Moore gives her a slutty dress.
Yes.
I love a slutty dress, and it was very much like her outfits under the mountain.
Yeah, so Feyre wears a very revealing outfit. So does Moore. That's kind of the aesthetic in the Court of Nightmares. So I do want to know, bringing it back.
Oh, bring back to Court of Thorn and Roses?
Yes. What are you wearing to the Court of Nightmares?
Obviously my star tiara.
Well, yeah.
That guys, look out for that in the photos with the drinks. I know.
Jamie bought several tiaras.
Yes, I did.
Because she is a grown lady. And if you don't have a tiara, you're doing something wrong.
I don't know why I haven't had one. So I will be wearing that. I feel like I would actually just want to wear what she's wearing. Just the gauzy, like, two strips of material, black, legs out, everything, just... Maybe a nice, like, necklace, a big necklace in the middle.
They might get lost in your cleavage, though.
Yeah, I don't have the boobs to do that.
Yeah, your cleavage is too deep. It'll get sucked in.
Yeah. Okay, take it back. No necklace.
You could wear a choker. A spike choker.
No, I would not wear a spike choker.
Okay, a star choker. Oh.
No, I might just leave it.
Okay.
Just let the cleavage...
Will you wear lots of sparkles?
Yes. I would spray my body with sparkles. Oh, maybe some good earrings. That's what I would do. Definitely red lips.
Just 2 giant skull earrings?
Ooh, yeah.
That's my instinct.
No shoes.
Of course not.
Yeah, no shoes. Like always. I don't care if I'm in a city.
What about stripper shoes?
Nope, because I will break an ankle. Me and Mom actually talked about this because we looked at the Lady Gaga. She has like a thing in Vegas, like it's at MGM, and it has like all her different outfits and stuff like that. Okay. And it has so many of her shoes, and they're ginormous. I'm like, do you remember Christine had those one pair of like boots or shoes, and they were so slanted and high. Yeah, I can't do it. So barefoot or maybe like a little kitten heel.
But I bet they were a wedge. That's why a wedge.
Yes, you had the wedge, but even she did. Like she had the big platform.
Let's not put the message out there that I can wear high heels or something.
No, it was not high heels. It was a wedged black boot. You should actually wear them to Hewn City. Yeah,
if I went to the Court of Nightmares, I would definitely wear like a gothic giantess boot shoe for sure. I would also wear like a Borat sling, like a black Borat sling.
Oh.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Which we'd have to do
black,
some
in black.
like waxing beforehand.
A lot.
Yeah.
That shows off a lot.
Yeah. So I would do that.
Okay.
And I would do like a fur cover. What do you call it?
Mine are always so basic.
Jamie, this is make believe.
I know, but still.
So I would have what do you call that? A shawl or a?
Oh, just like the one that goes over the shoulders, like.
Not over the shoulders, but just like you have it in your arms and you.
Oh, yeah, shawl type thing.
But okay,
well,
faux fur.
Faux fur, yes, obviously.
So do a bit of that and some black lipstick, some oversized lashes.
Definitely oversized lashes.
Maybe like a knife belt.
Ooh, I would want the thigh knife.
Thigh knife,
yeah.
Yes, but displayed.
Yes.
Sparkly.
Yes, and for everyone to know, I will kill you.
Yes, and I would like to note that I would eat at the tables and I would dance.
I would 100% dance.
Like, well, they just noted like nobody's touching the food because it's like they're too like rich and cool.
Yeah.
And,
well, I think they're all like they're drinking and have probably drug issues and.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would go get a croissant and go to the dance floor.
Wave the croissant in the air.
Anyway, the quarter nightmares vibes. So I wrote down smell of roast meat and fire, and that was triggering for Farah. And some people might not think that's an appealing smell. That's actually very appealing.
I thought it was appealing.
It also reminds me of like camping.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, oh, but camping, but like in a fancy city.
Yeah, that actually sounds nice. And she said that under the mountain had been a series of tunnels and rooms, but this was a city. So there was buildings, spires, homes, bridges, figures, dances, and fornicated, begged, and reveled, which was, there's some weird shit going down.
Yeah.
Pillars carved with vines and flowers, water, streams, and rivers going through the city. She said it was a terrible beauty.
I love that.
And everyone's pale because they're under...
Yeah, no tans going on here.
Everyone has a vitamin D deficiency.
Yes. I do also like kind of as it's happening, like Moore's walking through and people are like, oh, they're like hissing at her and whatever. But even this whole thing when they're coming in and then like when Rhysand comes in, I'm like, it's like a play they're all putting on.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Right? I was like, I love it. That they're like, okay, we're going in and Farah's right into it now, especially like the summer court, she did it too. Like we're playing these roles of what everyone thinks we are. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's fun. I want to just go put on plays in public with my friends.
I mean, you can.
Right?
Okay, say what Moore said.
Ooh, yes. That was the part that did remind me of the play. Because Moore goes, as her and Farah walk up, it's just the two of them. She's like, your High Lord approaches. He is in a foul mood, so I suggest being on your best behavior. Unless you wish to be the evening entertainment. Right? That part, I was like, yeah, it's like a play introduction, almost. Mm-hmm. And then Farah talks about how she can, like, feel him approaching, like he's let all his power out. And
I wrote down the whole inner monologue because it was so... she was getting so hot and heavy in her head about him. Like, just this whole experience of watching him. Like, he was so afraid of her seeing him in a certain light, but what he did not realize is how ramped up his whole spiel is getting her. Because it's getting me. It got me.
Rhys, like, you don't realize how hot it is. Relax.
He had released a damper on his power, on who he was. His power filled the throne room, the castle, the mountain, the world. It had no end and no beginning. No wings, no weapons, no sign of the warrior, nothing but elegant high lord the world believed him to be. His hands were in his pockets.
Oh, the pockets always get me.
His black tunic seemed to gobble up the light, and on his head sat a crown of stars.
Oh my god, me and Rhys are matching.
Thank you. No sign of the male who had been sitting on the roof. No sign of the fallen prince kneeling on his bed. The full impact of him threatened to sweep me away. Here was the most powerful High Lord ever born, the face of dreams and nightmares.
Right? Well, just by that itself, what an intro. She should have been saying that out loud.
Well, it just reminds me, too, of, like, just how people do, what do you call it? Like, dress up.
Yeah.
You know, when they're trying to, like, spice up their sex life, they pretend to be different people.
They, like, meet out in public as different people. And then kind of when you play that different character, it's a whole different type of confidence and a different side of you comes out. Yeah, this is a great little role play game for them going on, especially at this time in their relationship. It's where they're like, we don't really know what's happening, and
yeah, I'm not allowed to like him.
Yeah. So. Well, he's making it pretty hard for you, isn't he?
He really is, and he doesn't even know.
I know. Like, no idea. He's just like, oh my god, she's gonna hate me.
But, I mean, the point is, like, she's supposed to be, like, his plaything.
Yes.
And instead of her feeling violated or displayed, she is so fucking into this.
I know. Yeah, it's great. She's like, yeah, we're gonna do this, and people are looking at like this, or looking at us like this, and she does not care.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm just gonna spread my legs a little bit wider.
Yeah.
I'm like, you go, Farrah.
She says that she wasn't shy. She felt beautiful and strong. She said I had survived, triumphed. So she didn't feel like this, you know, how she felt during those sad chapters where she didn't feel like she had any.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like now that she's really, especially with like her training and doing all these things, and like, thank you, Reese, for like taking her away from there pretty much, and so that she can see how strong she actually is, and like seeing all of this about herself. And it's just nice for her to like really realize that and be like, yeah, I'm hot, you look at me. And
it's probably like a sort of a play for her, right? So even though she's still struggling in bed and having those doubts, she gets to like be put in this dominatrix type role.
Yes.
And it's not too dominatrix because he's not, you know.
Ooh, what I do also love that he kind of, when they walk in and then he like takes her up the thing and he waits to tell everyone, because they're all bowing to him, and he really drags it out. And I think he does say something about how every man in this room wants to, and then that's when she says the strong
have
thing.
Your mouth on them.
Yeah, but I love how he just waits to tell everyone to rise. I'm like, oh, that's so hot, Reese. God.
Oh, and then Moore's father shows up.
What a damper.
He seems like a dud.
He really does.
Yeah, I don't know if I have much to say about him until later. But...
yeah, he kind of just... you can tell he's not a fan.
Farrah does notice, like, the self-consciousness about him, about Reese. Farrah wondered what Reese wouldn't give of himself if the arrogance and swagger were a mask, and that he maybe thought he wasn't worth much at all.
Right? Yeah.
That's what she's starting to see. As she's getting to know him more and more, she's like chipping away at that High Lord that she saw under the mountain. She's realizing, oh, you have some self-esteem issues.
Yeah. And he's been letting her in, like, even at summer court, like, kind of seeing his insecurities about things, like how no one would ever stay with him. And he does have a lot of, insecurities.
Oh, and then I hate this moment. So Farrah's super turned on, which is fantastic. But then when Reese, gets to her nether regions and realizes that she's real turned on, that she's having a physical reaction, he sort of apologizes and says, it's okay, fine, it's just your body having a physical reaction. And then that makes her, like, recoil and be like, shame and embarrassment. Because obviously we know that Reese is, like, would jump her in a second.
Yes, well, and she's also at one point saying, like, oh, I can feel something hard against my back.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, like, clearly... you're both enjoying this.
Well, I think they're both conscious in a way, and they're like not just in general. And then within their relationship, they're just super not sure. So when he says that, like, okay, it's just a physical reaction, it's a reminder for her, oh, this isn't real. This isn't real for him. So then she starts to feel shame, like, oh, I was into this.
I remember when I first read that, though, I didn't take it like that. I was just taking it as like he's trying to make her feel better.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think she took it more as, oh, he's not attracted to me. This isn't something...
Isn't that what I just said?
Yeah, I guess so.
I thought that's what I said.
Yeah, you just said it differently, and then I was confused.
Okay. So Moore's father, Kier, is a super fucking creep, and he's just, like, staring at Farrah and Reese.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what like, the whole point of them doing this is so that they can get the orb, the truth orb, whatever it is. So as gets that, I just... honestly, I don't really care about the plotline. I'm just like, let's see Reese and Farrah.
Right, but that is what's happening. Like, there's a reason they're putting on this show. And it's so Az can get the orb for the queens.
So they got it. But as they're taking off, Kier walks past Farrah and says, you'll get what is coming to you, whore. And then Reese...
Oh, that's not something you say to someone who was called a whore for 50 years.
He unleashes his powers, makes him fall to his knees, tries to make him apologize, and when he doesn't, he breaks his bones and tells
like
everyone that don't heal him. So when Kier did that, I thought, why? What does she have coming for her? What did she do? I'm like so confused why he cares.
Yeah, actually, I didn't think of that. I was just like, how dare you?
You're gonna get what's coming to you for what?
Yeah. Yeah,
what?
I
For
didn't.
what?
Yep, did not think of that. I was just like, how dare you? Reese has PTSD from being called a whore. You do not call his pet a whore on top of it.
If someone knows, please tell us. Send us a message.
I mean,
tell us.
I think it'll probably come out later. Like there's stuff that happens. I feel like in the next episode that we're gonna do that I completely forgot about.
Really?
I was like, oh,
maybe we'll learn. I don't think we do.
Just put that on the back burner for a bit.
Okay, chapter 43, Reese and Farah have this really good chat. So they have this chat on the mountainside. Instead of Reese bringing Farah home, brings her to the mountain. He apologizes, said that he shouldn't have brought her. So, I mean, with what you just said, it kind of sounds like he didn't hear her. He didn't open his ears.
Yeah, I do also, she does
which
say...
both of them kind of don't in these, this chunk of the book. It's like, Farah, Reese, open your eyes
really
and your
listen
ears.
to what you two are saying to each other. But right away she goes, she says, I'm fine. And I love that she actually, and she says, she's like, in her mind, I meant it, I knew what I was going into, blah, blah, blah. But it just reminds me, listening to, the most recent episodes we did, when it was always like, I'm fine, everything's fine. I was like, she actually means it this time.
This is, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, no, really, I'm fine with everything that just happened. I knew what I was getting myself into.
And she basically says, you're the one who couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
She gets upset because she says, you're my friend, I don't want you to stop telling me things just because you're being protective or you're scared. I want to be a part of this. Interestingly, she does get a little, I called it a pang, a little ding, in her gut or in her ding, or maybe it was when she says the word friend. What happened felt real to her, but likely it wasn't for him. But as she was saying that word, that it didn't feel right. I
just wrote down, good for you, Farah, I just like how she was like, no.
You said what we were getting into. That is what happened. Yeah. So this is about it's your issue.
Yes.
But he gets upset too because he's like, stop comparing me to Tamlin, because he's being protective, right? So it reminds her of the stuff
that happened in the study, and it flashes in her mind, and he sees it, and he freaks out. Yeah. Do not compare me to him. I am nothing like him. He locked you up. I would never do that.
But I was so interested in this part because I think it's such a thing that real people go through, where I'm triggered by this thing, but I'm also triggered by this thing, and they're triggered by two different things. So Reese, this situation happens and he's thinking about their relationship and kind of doing the spiral thing that we all do. Mm-hmm. And he, says you think I don't know how stories get written, how this story will be written. He puts his hands on his chest, his face more open, more anguished than I've seen it. I am the Dark Lord who stole away the Bride of Spring. I am a demon and a nightmare, and I will meet a bad end. He is the Golden Prince, the hero who will get to keep you as his reward for not dying of stupidity and arrogance. And Farah thinks the things I love have a tendency to be taken from you. Thinking of what he said before to her.
Yeah, that he admitted that to her.
He'd admitted that under the mountain. But his words were kindling to my temper, to whatever pit of fear was yawning open inside me, right? So it's he's saying something vulnerable, but it's triggering something in her, and she can't get away from that in order to make him feel better.
Even when he was saying this, I feel like I had the same thought before, she said, and what about my story? I hissed, what about my reward? What about what I want? And I was yes.
You all are thinking of me as a thing. And maybe, But I wrote down, Farah's fear might be to, be trapped and controlled and feel helpless. Mm-hmm. And then Reese's fear might be getting the short end of the stick, that he can't outrun his role as High Lord and the perceived bad guy because the greater good demands it. But this leaves him without the peace that he might never know he desired, which is Farah. Yes. Which he's realizing that maybe that didn't... you don't realize it's a hole in your heart until you see it. And despite any good he does, he can't have it all. So the prospect of Farrah even feels unattainable and too risky. But for people like Tamlin, it feels like him, those people get to get that, right? So it's like all of that insecurity comes out.
Which I think is a very, like, relatable, a really relatable thing. I also think this was just a great argument that needed to be had.
Yeah.
And is a very important, like, growth in the relationship that they're kind of having this argument. Even though it is really sad at the same time.
He asks Farrah what she wants, and this is the opportunity for Farrah to say, like, are we something more? And she doesn't, because she doesn't know. Yes.
So I wrote about, in The Notebook, and there is a part, for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's like, but what do you, I can't remember exactly
what do you want? And they're in the rain?
Yes. Yeah. No, they're not in the rain at that part. It's when she gets, like, the letters, and she needs to kind of make a choice between, like, him and then, like, her
fiance.
Yeah. There's a whole, like, there's so many memes about it, but it's that, like, what do you want? What do you, like, she's like, I don't know. Stop yelling at me. But it just, I had down, like, The Notebook. Totally reminded me of The Notebook. There is also... Now I forgot where we were.
She says that, okay, I don't know what I want, but at least I don't hide behind a mask.
Right, yes.
And that you hide behind even with your friends, you're not totally real. She says he hides even from his friends because if they saw everything, they might walk away. And she says, who could blame them, as who would want to bother with that sort of mess?
Ooh, I was like, Farrah really cut hurt deep.
Him. Yeah. Yikes. Yikes on bikes.
Also, just, I think that fear that he has is, like, so real. Just, someone's going to see all of this about you and be like, nah.
Yeah, and decide, no, that's not for me.
Yeah, that's too much for me. Especially all the shit he has going on and leaving. But I think that is really, like, in just normal life, like, a very big fear. It can be, like, a lot.
Think about the conversation we had about Reese never wanting to push his friends really far with the things that are personal or like hurt and trauma. Like, he doesn't push he doesn't push Amryn, but maybe he does that because he doesn't want other people to push him either. So
really just, I think, learning a lot in this. Like, but they're fighting, but...
I labeled this next part Reese Ghosts. Is that still a term in the dating world?
I don't know. I also don't really feel like he's ghosting, though.
I know, it's not real ghosting. Mm-hmm. It's the silent treatment. I don't know if you know this, but the more vodka you drink, the better the drink gets.
Right? I'm like, oh, it's actually kind of sweet. Okay, I do need to open up my book. So so she does go out to the garden. Obviously, he doesn't show up. But she does a lot of, like, thinking.
When they go home, right?
Yeah, so they've gotten home. He goes to talk to everybody to kind of say what happened. But she starts thinking about them more and, like, what she does actually want, since he did do that question. But realizes she's healing and that maybe that is something that she wants more from him. But she says, like, not the High Lord, the most powerful male in Prithian history, just him, the person who had sent music into the cell, who had picked up the knife in Amarantha's throne room to fight for me when no one else dared, and who had kept fighting for me every day since, refusing to let me crumble and disappear into nothing. I almost cried. Not when I read it, but the audiobook when I was driving around, and I don't know if it was how she read it, I literally was almost crying. I was like, yes, I want someone like that too. I want someone to stab people for me, and just, like, fight for you when you're at that low. I had to read that and put that out to the universe again. Cheers to Reese.
Cheers.
God.
She thinks about Tamlin a little bit too.
Yes.
And whatever she thinks, I just wanted to note, I guess when I was reading, I was thinking protection versus control. Mm-hmm. Because in that moment when Reese was getting upset, like, oh, you're comparing me to Tamlin, and she's triggered by that or whatever, she realized later after she comes down, like, oh, I would have acted the same in that situation. Yes. That was protection, and I thought, okay, that's protection versus control.
Yeah. Well, no, that's a very good point to make, because I saw a TikTok video today about someone about Tamlin, which I'm totally not, like, Tamlin's journey is whatever, but the people were too hard on Tamlin. And I was just like, some of their points, it just made me really
iffy.
Yeah, I was like, nope, that's not okay. Well, he did this because of this. I'm like, nope, still not okay.
There's always reasons for behavior. And I hope that as we had talked about Tamlin in that situation, because we both had our moments where we're empathetic towards him and we understand why he's doing what he's doing, but I hope that we never give approval for how he went about it, because that was fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, where I was watching this thing, I mean, I feel like you're really...
Intention versus actions. Yeah. You're responsible for your actions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I do understand maybe why he's...
Yeah, totally.
Which anyone who does do that, obviously there is so much shit that's happened to that person that causes them to do these things, but that doesn't make their actions okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, just wanted to... It made me really mad today.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she... Next day, right?
Yeah, I think that night she decides, like, I want to be something a little more. And then the next day she keeps trying to contact him, but he's not responding through their little, like, note magic. And so she decides to visit Amren, brings her blood. I'm liking Amren more and more. I like Amren way more this round of the ACOTAR series read than I did in...
Same?
Yeah.
And why does she not...
She's a hidden gem.
Right? And she doesn't get enough praise. She might be my
favorite of the inner circle during this read.
Yeah.
Actually.
And even I was like, I always see things about Mor. And everyone loves Mor. And I'm like, what about Amren?
Amren!
Yeah.
Yes.
Team Amren.
But Amren sort of fills her in because nobody told her about Starfall. Nobody told her about...
Well, she doesn't tell her about Starfall.
Yes, she does.
No, she just... Well, she says it, but... Like, will not tell. It's a surprise. Like, I won't tell you what actually happens.
No, but she tells her, like, what's happening. Like, Feyre doesn't know what's happening. Nobody is given the schedule.
Oh, yes. So yes, she does update her on the schedule.
Because they're going to go to the Illyrian camps because I think they're going to, like, train and hide out a little bit.
So she does update her on the schedule.
But why isn't it... Give her an itinerary.
Right? Come on.
She is an employee.
She gets paid. She's a paid employee.
She just happens to go to Amren, and then Amren happens to tell her? Like, what, you're just going to leave her in a room?
Yeah, they probably knew she was going to go there. Who knows?
Anyway, but she learns about Starfall.
Don't sound so excited about it, Christine.
Oh, sorry. She learns about Starfall.
Yay!
Yeah. Every other court celebrates it as Ninsar.
Yeah, I don't know how to...
Day of Seeds and Flowers, but the Night Court, the Starfall's special to the Night Court, which is our special, very strong vodka drink tonight.
That's right.
Amren tells Feyre that Rhys was a ghost when he returned from under the mountain, but Feyre made him come alive again. If anyone ever said that about me... If someone told me that about my husband, you made him come alive. You brought him back to... I'd be like, I did. And that would
I am amazing.
I am so great. That would be my little boost.
Tell me more.
Yes. So I will be accepting those assessments if anyone had observed me in the light I bring to my husband's eyes.
There you go.
Thank you. I am a ray of sunshine. Do you want to do the Feyre Amren back and forth? I kind of say that.
So their conversation continues, and Feyre says, "He is lucky to have you all. Have all of you already screwed it up."
No, we are lucky to have him, Feyre. I have known many high lords, cruel ones, cunning ones, weak ones, powerful ones, but never one that dreamed not as he does.
Dreams of what?
Of peace, of freedom, of worlds united, a world thriving, of something better for all of us.
He thinks he'll be remembered as the villain in the story. It does say Amren snorts. But I forgot to tell him that the villain is usually the person that locks up the maiden and throws away the key.
Oh?
He was the one who let me out. Oh, guys.
I need to perfect my Amren voice. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that got real deep.
It got weird.
Yep.
It got weird.
It got deep and like 15th century-ish.
Oh, okay. I'll practice at home in my spare time. Anyway.
I always loved that little quote, though, that he was the one that let me out. Like, yeah, he was. Like, just...
Okay, let's go to chapter 44 because it is Starfall.
Yes.
Let's get to it.
Starfall. Starfall.
This dress that she's wearing is like a staple in the series, I feel like.
Yes.
Like, people make a lot of art around it, and it's because she's wearing the Starfall dress that makes her look like a fallen star.
It almost sounds like unreal seeming. Like, I don't think you could ever recreate it in real life.
Yeah, it'd be hard.
Yeah. I love that she was like feeling herself in it, but then commenting the modesty of it undone by how the gown hugged areas I supposed a female might enjoy showing off. It's like,
huh?
Yeah.
You don't know the curves and crevices that someone...
Yeah, I felt it was just a odd comment.
Yeah, I didn't know if that meant like she was still uncomfortable with being feminine and womanly because she had been this warrior and not warrior but like huntress surviving with her family, that she had never really been a woman, that maybe she's still getting more comfortable with like being a woman. Maybe that's what that was about.
Yeah, I just thought it was. So then she goes up to leave and sees Cassian, and I got to throw in a Cassian comment. I should have let Nuala and Caradwin dress me, Cassian. But yeah.
You're fine, Cassian. You always look nice.
He does look especially nice, though. There was a description. I didn't write it down, but...
But they go to the House of Wind for the Starfall celebration, and there's a whole bunch of people there, and it's a big party. It sounds so wonderful.
And everything is dark and quiet, though, at the same time, besides the people. Like, there's no music playing. It's so
people
exciting.
are gathering and getting ready. It's kind of like New Year's Eve, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I like that.
So one thing I did note was Azriel looking hungrily at Moore. And so it made me wonder... Like, does anyone else think this is weird? I don't know what the timeline is, but let's say it's like 500 years. If you're still looking hungrily at more, you know, like, I try to think of an example. Let's say my husband broke up with me, and then we still had to be in the same circles for 500 years. I feel like eventually I wouldn't be afar looking hungrily at him with such intensity.
No,
it's like,
just really get over at that point.
When do you get over the hump? Wouldn't that intensity lessen? Like, it's so strange to me that you would still look at someone. It feels very far-fetched to me.
Yes, but also time is so different for them.
Yeah. I could be wrong. That was just like something I thought. I was like, really?
Yeah, yeah. They finally, Rhys and Farah, reunite after their big fallout.
Yeah, what do you think about this whole Starfall scene between Rhys and Farah? I feel like it's pretty pivotal.
Yeah, and I think it's just it's a beautiful whole scene because I feel like it does end in like fun, but also there's so much like honesty shared at the same time. There's still more to be said, but Farah doesn't want to say everything that she thinks. Yeah, but I think she also realizes it's not the time. Like, they're about to all separate and go do these things, and it's their last night all together to just have fun and enjoy each other. And she notes him like looking at his friends dancing.
Well, because she's not ready. Which, when they had that conversation in the fight, she says, I don't know what I want.
Yeah.
But there's still this makeup between them.
What I do like that he says, you were right. Love a man that can say that. I love anyone that can say that, really.
You were right, meaning, like, you don't let other people see you, really?
Well, he just kind of apologizes, and saying, like, yeah, you were right in a lot that, like, what you said, and
then she also said, when I said that...
She was...
What did she say?
Like, referring a lot more to herself than she was to him.
Yeah, that it was her that maybe doesn't let people in and has walls up. But, I mean, let's be honest, it's the both of you.
Yeah.
Both of you do that.
You're both the problem, guys.
But you both have real reasons to.
Yeah. Okay, and I also just had down, so we find out that, like, the stars are actually spirits. Mm-hmm. Once it starts happening, it sounds so beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I wish it was real. And there's one thing she said where the light and shadow passed over his face. And I was like, oh, that's such, like, a beautiful visual, like, just thinking him standing there, and there's just beautiful. But he does admit that Amarantha used to, every night on Starfall, take him and make her service her for the, like, entire night.
Which is so gross. Cruel. You know that Starfall is, like, a special night within the Night Court. Yeah. That you would... It's, like, so...
It's gross and disgusting.
It's such, like, a cruel form of abuse, right?
Yeah. And that, the whole night...
So this is like his first Starfall after 50 years, and it's so important to the Night Court in Valaris. So it's a special moment for him that they all get to be together again at this night.
But that they also, like, his friends don't know.
That everything that happened with him under the mountain.
Yeah.
He hasn't really talked to them all about it. Which I guess was fair as criticism. Yeah.
But I was just like, oh.
And Amryn said it too. Amryn said, he doesn't talk about it.
Yeah.
He tried to, like, pretend that he was okay, but we know that he's not okay. Mm-hmm. He's not fooling anybody.
No. They kind of talk about that, and I think Farrah's trying to say something serious. And all of a sudden, a star hits her in the face. Mm-hmm. This is my favorite moment. But so she just got hit with, like, a soul.
Yeah.
And it's just, and then it's
punches her in the face.
Yeah, and it's like color all over her. I'm like, so you just have like dead soul on you? But it also sounds really pretty. Like the first time I read it, I don't think I really caught on. I'm like, oh, like a star smashing, and it's like these colors. Now I'm like, okay, but no, it's supposed to be a soul. Like, I'm kind of confused, but it sounds beautiful.
But we're just gonna ignore that part.
And then like Rhys starts laughing at her, and then she draws like a star on his hand, and
it's a really cute moment.
One hits him, and he's laughing, and she finally smiles for him. It's just a really sweet, fun moment I just really loved.
And she, let's go dance, let's be together, let's have fun,
she
let's
says,
be with
she
your
takes
family.
his hand and says, will you dance with me? And
exactly.
I was like,
yeah.
That's still like her reaching out kind of thing.
Yeah, this is what I can give you right now.
Yeah. And I do want to mention, because when she says like the people were dancing, where is it? And she says, not like the grinding and thrusting of the Court of Nightmares. And I was like, okay, I get the grinding, but like the thrusting, what kind of dancing are they doing?
Well, Jamie, I'm wearing a Borat sling and a fur shawl. You bet and Lady Gaga heels. You bet your ass I'm thrusting.
Right? Like,
you bet your ass
dancing,
I'm swinging
like,
that fur in the air, and I am humping, I am thrusting, I am grinding at anything that is moving.
Right?
And then I'm being arrested.
Yes. I was like, I totally get the grinding.
Not in the Court of Nightmares. There's no police.
No, they don't care.
There's no 911 there.
You could do whatever you want.
That's where I'll be.
I was like, what a dancing description.
With my croissant.
Croissant waving in the air.
Oh, just a mouthful of croissant.
I was like, what an interesting dance style. Casting call.
Well, we have one this week. We
do.
have Moore's bio dad. His name is Kier, and he is
An
not
asshole.
Queer. He is a loser.
Yeah, we don't like him. Not a cool guy.
I don't know, I rhymed him with queer.
Yeah, that was weird.
We have Kier.
Okay.
Do you want to... I don't know how excited you are about this casting.
He was kind of like always a blurred, like I pictured him with like blonde hair and more of, he's an older actor now. Like, remember in Devil Wears Prada? Mm-hmm. And the guy that like she kind of starts a thing with?
I forgot.
Okay, anyways, that's who I kind of pictured when I was reading it. And like second time around, my choice is Wyatt Russell.
Oh, Wyatt Russell. Yeah, he's
Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's son.
I feel like he's too hot for Kier.
But he's not like, he's like good looking, but not like really good looking. But kind of, and I've seen him play like
I'm accepting of it. I just always think Kier is older, but I understand like the Faye thing.
That's why when I first read it, I pictured this other older guy.
Yeah.
But then this one, I'm like, hey, no, he's still probably like a bit younger. But like Wyatt is, I think, 40.
He doesn't look 40.
No, he looks great. I mean, most 40-year-olds look great. But I've also seen him kind of play like a bad guy character.
Yeah, no, he could do it.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I like him.
I also watched one of his movies this week, and that's probably why he was also in my head.
No, I mean, I want to kiss him, so that's why I don't want him to be Kier.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay.
I mean, you might drink a lot of fairy wine in that Borat outfit and just give into it.
Yeah, I'll shove my croissant in his mouth. Okay, mine is Neil I don't know how to...
I thought you were going to say Neil Patrick Harris.
No. Oh, he might do that well. But Neil McDonough. You'll know who it is when I show you the picture.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
He's the actor that, like... I even looked up what TV and shows he had been in, and I'm like...
He's in The Green Mile, I think.
Yeah, like, he's been in so many things, but I'm like, nothing stands out where I'm like, I know him from this. It's just like, he's in so many movies
no,
that,
he
like,
is.
I don't know which one to remember him from. But
I can't believe I didn't know his name.
That's the vibe of Keir that I get as, like, him.
I like it.
Look him up, because I feel like y'all will agree with me.
Yeah, you'll know who he is. No, I like that.
Okay.
That's a good one. Do we want to do old casting, or are we going to wait? I feel like we can wait for that. You want to do it. We can just do the Cassian one.
I'm just going to do the Cassian one because I feel like I'm going to explode.
Okay.
Okay, I have to look up something specific to give it the
right
juice,
visual.
The juice. The Real World Paris. Did you watch that season? You did.
Oh, yes.
CT.
Oh my god, yes! Oh. You didn't even have to, you should have just said CT.
I knew you knew who CT was, but I wanted to preface it with The Real World Paris because I watched
the challenge. Just the challenge in general.
I know, but you need to know CT from the OG because he was in his prime.
Oh, my CT.
Yeah,
I'm still obsessed with him because I watched the challenge religiously, and I love him. When he has a dad bod, I love him. When he's in super good shape, I love him. Yeah, love his Boston accent.
He's just a very, very attractive man.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with, like, shunning Bad Bunny for CT.
Yeah, I think that's a much better choice.
Oh my god, can we agree on a casting?
I'm still a little bit towards my other one, a tiny bit. Like, that's still kind of in my head. But I will give also a bit to CT as well.
Are you just going to give a slice to CT?
No, more than a slice. Like a 50-50. I feel like CT's like a more realistic version. I don't know. But that's such a good one. Okay. That is a really, really good one. I'm very pleasantly surprised because I was like, I have no idea.
Well, that's what I mean. I feel like it's one that we can agree on.
Yes, 100%. That we could both agree on that. And totally wasn't expecting that.
Good.
And,
surprise!
He does act. So.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, CT. Love you. I hope you're listening. I'll marry you.
Okay, let's do our MVP. MVP. My MVP this week is Amryn.
I knew it.
Did you have... you didn't think of one, did you?
Kinda.
Okay. Well, Amryn is mine just because... I mean, I guess I already said it. Like, she's just making me pleasantly surprised because I'm noticing things about how she is with Feyre and with Rhys. And she's just, like, the ultimate... I like her better than Mor right now. Like, she's just... I feel like Amryn gives good advice. She is the voice of... directness.
Yes.
She, she cuts the shit.
Yep. She's honest.
I like her. I just like her.
Yeah. I mean,
I like what she's doing.
She only makes a brief cameo, but
But just in that brief conversation, she's just like, hey, you made Rhys feel better. I noticed that.
And that we're lucky to have him. And
and then she's reminding Feyre of that. Like, hey, like, you have a place here. You're helping him. You're all good.
Yeah.
Like,
Amryn needs more hype in
more or less
book
where
world.
she says it in her way. Yeah, so that's mine.
I'm actually just really going to agree with that. I hate giving it to Feyre. I don't hate it, but I loved her confidence in these few chapters. Mm-hmm. That really came out. Her really standing up for herself. I mean, she's obviously the main character in this book, so it's hard to not visualize those things. But you know what? My ultimate MVP? Starfall. The souls in Starfall.
The souls that we are hitting us in the face.
Yeah, that's right. But to just come back and do that every year and make it such a beautiful...
They're supposed to be like migrating or something, right?
Yeah, there was a big description. But it just sounds so beautiful. And her dress sounds so beautiful. Just the whole night.
the
just,
party.
Yeah. And
everyone
how it's just
dancing all night.
And it's just silent and dark until the stars start falling, and then
it's like
the
a
music.
way better New Year's Eve. Because
Yes.
New Year's Eve is always just really disappointing, I feel like.
Every time.
So this is like the 2.0 version.
Ooh, I was going to ask you, have you ever seen it? Because they kind of say like something about shooting stars. Have you ever seen a shooting star?
Not that stands out to me.
No.
Maybe I have.
I'm
Have you?
Yes. Like one that was like a really good. I think I've seen like some like, you know, you like briefly see them. But we were at, you know how Lisa goes to camp at Sleeping Giant? Mm-hmm. Me, her, and Stacy were in the water night swimming. And it was like, I swear, slow motion. I was like, I don't know if it was like comets were out that night. But it was so big. Like and it was like the slowest, and it was just so beautiful. And we still randomly will talk about it, but it was just a really like cool moment to like be in the water at that moment. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just like this fast little thing. It was kind of bigger and slower and just, I don't know, just really beautiful. So I think I just kind of had that in my mind. Like imagine like thousands of that just happening and how crazy and beautiful. So yeah, MVP Starfall.
And just a shout out to nighttime swimming.
Right?
Do more of it if you can.
It's the best.
If you get to swim in a lake or an ocean.
Yeah. And like when no one's there.
Yeah.
Then you can also go skinny dipping if you want.
Perfect.
Really spice things up. Speaking of spicy, our next episode.
Is that spicy?
It's gonna get a little spicy. And then it's gonna even the episode after that it's gonna get spiciest. So hold on to your hats.
Chili pepper. Well, it's not that many chili peppers.
No, it's like
one.
We're at like one right now. Next episode, like maybe two.
These aren't like super chili pepper. This isn't a super chili pepper book.
No, it's not like a 5, but
no,
it's so great.
But look, we're getting some chili peppers.
Yes, which is the best.
Okay, well, we'll see you when we see you.
Yeah.
Toodaloo.
Bye-bye.